Hey everyone! So this is going to be an in-depth review analysis of Bigbang's Loser, and this is not just my opinion. I took this from like other sites too, because I also researched other people's meanings and then intertwined it all with mine and stuff. And hey everyone online, if you're here and stuff, our chat room in line, you all know, if you hear this, you know which parts are my opinions and stuff, because I from the get-go felt it was their personal experiences before I ever saw other people's stuff and all. So I'm just gonna intertwine people's opinions and my opinions as one. So this is not just what I feel. But before I start all this, I'd like to talk to VIPs. I know that I'm gonna have to address some of the scandals that have happened with Bigbang in this and talk about it, because I feel this has a whole bunch to do with their scandals. And I know we VIPs are very sensitive when it comes to like our members, our groups scandals and stuff. VIPs are extremely sensitive about the scandals. So I just want you all to know that I am on the VIP side and I am not on like the enemy, I don't even know what to call it, line and stuff. And I am a VIP for life. My blood is yellow. So please do not look at this wrongly and stuff and all. And I don't mean to like bring up wounds and stuff, but this is just what I see they're trying to pass across. I just wanted to see all that before we start this. But yeah, without further ado, we are going to be reviewing Loser again. No, not again. For the first time, we are going to be reviewing Loser. So let's go.
어깨빵 9-4 샷건 얼굴 따위로 아이돌 하는 놈 아니니깐 follow me 하이톤 샷건 실력만으로 아이돌 하는 놈 암지 가수 나온 놈이.
Alright, so let's go. Okay. Okay, so you see how GD is coming out of the car. He's like a rich guy. And then talk with his girl. There's some coming out to buy him something. My name is business. So great, so find out. I'm sorry. Okay. And then GD is in his home. He's really good home. No one's calling him. He's all alone. He's destroying things. No one is around him. And then see the sign, do not enter wrong way. Notice that sign and how he's just acting and how he's looking around, kind of like dazed. He doesn't really know what's going on, and he's going on the streets alone. He's dressed really nice too. Okay, let's pause that. Okay, let's try and reflect now on, let's go back to GD's part and stuff. So you saw how GD was all dressed really nice and stuff, and he came home, there was no one, he was alone. And one thing I love was how he specifically went around that post that says do not enter wrong way and stuff. So, and it specified, like, it was really clear that he was trying to pass a message across that side, during that part and stuff. And then finally he went home, he was waiting for a call, he didn't get any call, he destroyed stuff and all that. So in that part, what we're getting from it is that, first, if you remember, GD had a scandal, and for those who don't know, GD had a marijuana scandal where he was prosecuted for like a marijuana case because they found marijuana on him, but he was released for two reasons: because it was very weak, the marijuana they found on him, like that he was tested very weak for it, and also because he took it unconsciously. G-Dragon smokes, so he went to an event and someone gave him the marijuana to smoke, and since he smoked cigarette and he was very drunk that day, he thought it was a cigarette, and so he took 2 puffs of it, and that was how he landed in this situation. I don't know, I feel like he was kind of set up, because how the heck did the police find out that he had marijuana on him? It's just sketchy. But anyway, let's not go into all that. I'm gonna try and not talk about how I feel about all that, but that's G-Dragon's scandal. And ever since then, K netizens, like certain K netizens, hate on him, and they always bring back his drug scandal that, oh, G-Dragon smoked marijuana, even though it was only once that he was ever caught with such a situation and stuff, and he had a reasonable excuse, and he was found to have a like really weak content, meaning he doesn't really take it and stuff. So people have been hating G-Dragon for that. Like, that's one of his major scandals and stuff. And if you read netizen buzz, most of the comments, like when you're talking about G-Dragon, the bad comments are always calling him like a drug user and stuff. So now coming back to the envy, relating it to the envy, you see how, like I said, he was acting, especially the part where he was just like looking around, like kind of lost in the midst of everywhere, can also represent someone who took drugs and is lost and stuff. And that sign, wrong way, do not enter, to me says he's telling people, look here, like this is not the right path to follow. Like if you do drugs, and you could see he was all alone, it's if you look at it from two aspects. Now we're talking about one aspect before we go to another aspect of it. So it can signify that okay, now let's say G-Dragon is a drug user. I'm not saying he is, okay, I'm just using that to explain what I'm trying to explain. But let's say GD is a drug user. So what it's trying to signify or symbolize is that people who use drug end up being alone and lost, and you might have all the money in the world, but at the end of the day you'll be alone and stuff, and you go back to your home, you're all alone, and you're really lost in a world filled with people and stuff. So G-Dragon was basically lost because of that, and he specifically put the signpost, wrong way, do not enter. So he's basically giving a message to us, the viewers, the public, the youths, that don't ever walk through the route of drugs, that drugs isn't for you. So that's one way to look at it. Then the second way to look at it also is, we see G-Dragon is rich. He comes home, he's all alone. So even with all the money, he's still all alone, and he doesn't really have people he can call friends. He doesn't really have people around him, which sincerely goes with G-Dragon's whole situation. G-Dragon, yeah, GD has friends, but being rich doesn't really signify that you have true friends. There are people who are with you just because of your money and stuff. And G-Dragon's whole scandal, tying back to the drug stuff, is made like so many people hate him, that even with all his money, etc and etc, he still feels alone. So that might be him trying to say, yes, I have money, etc etc, but I'm still alone. At the end of the day, I still feel lonely. And even in a sea filled with people, and with all these designer clothes, me looking all good and smiling at you guys and all, and looking all great, that doesn't mean that I've got it all together. That doesn't mean I'm happy and I have friends. I'm still alone at the end of the day. Then going to his lyrics say, G-Dragon's lyrics says, honestly, I've never fitted with the world. I was always alone. It's been a long time since I've forgotten about love. I can't listen to hopeful love songs anymore. You and me both, we're just sad clowns, tamed and scripted. I've come too far. I'm coming home. I want to go back to when I was young. What I get from this lyrics is basically GD saying, I don't want to tie it to the whole Chico situation, but I'm gonna tie it to just G-Dragon now in general, with fans and the general public, in that once upon a time when he was young, he believed in love, but right now he doesn't believe in love again because of all the hate and everything and how people treated him. It was like a great betrayal and stuff, that you could believe I did this when I know I didn't do it and stuff. And so right now, love songs don't even really mean anything to him, and he doesn't really care about love songs, and he just wants to go back to the past, the time when he was a young child. He was free without worries. He didn't have all this like problems like that comes with money, and he didn't feel alone. He had so many people around him and stuff. Also, if you noticed, on the side of GD's head there was a tattoo that signified a rope, kind of like the rope suicidal people used to hang themselves and stuff. I don't see it as necessarily GD having suicidal thoughts himself, but how society tried to hang him because of his scandal, and how people tried to kill him with words and stuff, and they don't realize it. It's like I always say, words can kill and stuff, but their words are like the sharp-edged knife or the rope that they're using to try and strangulate him and stuff. So he feels suffocated by all that. So I feel that's what he was trying to imply. So G-Dragon's part was basically about his candle and how he feels lonely also, even with all the money. So behind all that facade of G-Dragon, what lies beneath is a lonely guy who wants to go back to the past when all this didn't happen and stuff. Basically, that's what he's saying. Now let's move on. Sin will find you. Notice that on the cross, and how he's dancing around it, and he put his hand in his head, right? And then now Sungri and his girlfriend, who's with another guy, and he's mad about it. Okay, now we're gonna come back to GD again with this part. I believe it's this. Yeah, it's this part. Okay, let's pause. So you saw when G-Dragon was in the bait tub with the baseball bat and stuff, and he put his hand over his head and stuff and all sad. If you know anything about like drug use and all that, you know that bait tubs are associated with people who use drugs and stuff, or like even drunk people and stuff. So that is also another symbolism that implies that G-Dragon is also talking about his drug scandal and how that all affected him and stuff, and how he feels hated by the world, by it, and like they're suffocating him and they're killing him, and he's all alone because of that and stuff. So, and he wants to go back to the past. So all right, let's move on now to top. See how he has a glove on his hand and then he removed her hand when she touched him, right? His neck. And then she touched his artwork, and he choked her. He's trying to kill her. Okay, let's pause that part. Now this is the interesting part. Okay, let's talk about that. I'm like, this is an interesting, well, not interesting, but T.O.P's part, you see him with the girl, and he was having sex with the girl, or about to have sex with the girl. They didn't get it down, but he choked her because she touched him and she touched his furniture. Now there are various ways you can look at T.O.P's part. I love T.O.P and GD because they put certain things that makes you think more and stuff. Okay, let's talk about Bigbang Top's part. So in Bigbang, Top is one of the members that isn't known as a womanizer at all. VIPs don't know him as a womanizer or someone that deals with women. What we know Top for is his love for furnitures. Top has a crazy Top would rather call a furniture sexy than a woman sexy, and his Instagram, you can testify to that if you've been on his Instagram. He literally calls his chairs sexy, beautiful, and all that, and he's really deeply into art and furnitures. And then there are two ways to look at it. Let's look at it from the Sungri aspect. Let's look at it from the Top aspect first, then we'll go to the Sungri aspect, because Top's part was not just talking about him. So from the Top aspect, I feel like it's not actually a woman. It's Top's inners. The woman is representing Top's inner desires, which might include sexual desires, etc, which is coming in the way of his love for art and other things like music, his furnitures and everything, and it's trying to get in the way of all that. And so when the lady touched his neck, that can also imply that that part of him is trying to kill him. So before it kills him, he kills that part of him. So he killed the lady, and he killed the lady because she was trying to take over or trying to touch a part of him that he didn't want to be touched, that he deemed sacred and stuff. And we all know Top deems his art and stuff sacredly and stuff. So she tried to touch that part of him, and he killed that part of him because he wanted to keep the art side of him that he loves and etc. So you can see it as Top basically killing his sexual desires, his love for maybe women or whatever, to focus on just his career and his love for art and etc, which actually does make sense, because if you know about Top, we have not, like, no one, this patch hasn't really caught up. Like, there have been rumors that they saw him with one person or another, but it wasn't really like concrete enough and stuff. So you can say that Top focuses more on his furniture than women, and he has killed that aspect of him for his love for his art and for his work and stuff. So basically that's one way to look at Top's part. Now let's go to the Sungri aspect before we come to the lyrics aspect. Now if you look at it from this perspective, Top also, like I said, he's the one that we don't see as a womanizer. But who in Big Bang, when we talk about ladies, our mind immediately goes to Sungri, right? Because he's the one that we know loves women, and we're not, VIPs don't hate him for that. We still love our Sungri and stuff. And Sungri is also the one who had a scandal whereby a lady said that she had sex with him, a one-night stand, and he was violent during sex, and he also choked her, that he had a habit of choking her during sex. So he kind of likes BDSM like sex, not that he's Chris Brown beater of his girlfriend. No, he just likes like those kind of sex, kinky sex and stuff. I'm like, I can't believe I'm talking about all this, but yeah, so Sungri likes all that. So you can also look at it as actually Sungri's story that is being showcased there. Is something also that we can see with Top, in that Top is the only one in Big Bang that hasn't really made an effort to make a solo album. So you can look at it in the way that the love for his inner desires sucked out his inspiration for his art, and so that's why he basically had to kill it at the end of the day, because he loves art also even more than all those parts of him. So he had to basically kill her in order to bring alive once more his musical, artistic sides and all that. So hopefully Top, we get a solo album from you real soon. I'm like, Deborah, I don't think you should be happy that he killed that part of him, but hopefully we get a solo album from you real soon. Then now going back to the lyrics and look at how all that intertwines, and what solidifies that it is Sungri's story also and stuff. So in the lyrics of Top's part, it says it's a cycle for Top's part. It says it's a cycle of girls and mistakes. Love them for one night, I hate them when morning comes. Can't own up to it because of my selfish pleasure. Everything is being ruined. Can't stop this dangerous full speed run. Now I have no interest, no fun anymore. I'm standing alone at the edge of a cliff. I'm going home. I want to go back to how it was before. Now you can look at this both ways. Like, okay, the first 4 lines, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so exciting, because okay. Anyway, it says it's a cycle of girls and mistakes. Love them for one night and hate them when the morning comes. Can't own up to it because of my selfish pleasure. Now, who in Big Bang do you automatically think of when you think of girls? Sungri, right? So that's another hint that is talking about Sungri, and like the whole slept with them one night, and it's not Top. From what we know about Top, this is definitely not Top's characteristics, but it goes along very well with Sungri, which ties with the whole choking the girl, Top choking the girl, which is something that has happened alongside Sungri, like it's associated with Sungri and stuff. So you can look at it as Sungri saying all that it's a cycle of girls and mistakes. He is saying that, yeah, he has made many mistakes sleeping with girls, like, and he is the one that has actually made another mistake again with the car accidents that he had, remember, and stuff, and then hate them when the money comes. So he just sleeps around, he doesn't even like them. So basically he's acting irresponsibly, and he slept around, and he can't really own up to it because of his own selfish pleasure. And if you know in Big Bang who is the one who is selfish slightly, it's Seungri, right? Seungri said it like during his awards speech. He said, I'm not taking anybody, I'm taking myself for being able to go through all this hard work and stuff. So basically that's Seungri saying all that in that part. He can't stop the full speed run. It can also be talking about his car accident, and now he has no interest, no fun anymore in all that. So now he has finally reflected. He has no interest in the females and the ladies and all that, that it's no longer fun to him, and he has matured from all that, which you can verify with what GD said in a recent interview during this comeback on how Seungri has now really matured, and him and Seungri are close and stuff. So Seungri is no longer interested in all that. And you remember before in Big Bang, Seungri was always the member that Ji-Dawn was always worried about, because he was always getting into one situation or another because of his mouth and stuff, and GD Youngbae were always worried about him. But now he's like, oh, now I'm matured, I'm no longer there again, and I'm going home, I want to go back to how it was before. So basically he's saying that he no longer wants to keep doing all that. He wants to go back to before he started all that, which can also go to Top, also saying that, oh, that he no longer wants the girl, he wants to go back to the past. So you can look at the first few lines as basically talking about Seungri. Then the last lines where it says, now I have no interest, no fun anymore. I'm standing alone at the edge of a cliff. I'm going home. I want to go back to how it was before. It can now be associated with Top, in that you can see it as now Top is no longer interested in his inner sexual desires or like females and stuff. He just wants to go back to how it was before, him and his artwork, and him and his art and his music and stuff. And he's no longer interested in all that anymore, and all he cares about now is his art, and he wants to go back to the past. He's on the ground days, basically the top baddest rapper before and stuff, who is still interested in art and loves art, and he doesn't want to be associated with all those other his inner desires and stuff. So you can look at it also as it's talking about Top and Seungri. So basically it's a tie, it's intertwined both stories into one, which I think is really, really beautiful and stuff. And it's just nice to see how they've matured through this, and you can see that through the lyrics that basically, if I'm right, that it's talking about Seungri, then he has learned and he has really matured, and he doesn't want to go back, he doesn't want to have such situations again and commit such mistakes again, because they're no longer fun. Like the lyric says, it's no longer fun, and it just makes no sense and stuff. And he realizes that he was just being selfish, and he's now a better person. So that's a really good character development. Now let's continue with the MV. Just do it. Just do it.